Okay, in this second video, what we're going to be talking about in terms of lines and line editing is the addition of lines. And I want to make a couple of points. First of all, in general, in most of the ESRI products, there is an option for what we call streaming mode in digitizing. And one of the downsides of the newer release of ArcPRO is that they've actually taken this tool out. And a whole lot of people are complaining about it. There is some talk that are coming back. There is a freehand tool, but the problem with freehand is that it doesn't allow for snapping. It also smooths a line in a way that's not controlled, and so I'm going to avoid it in this video. Just to let you know, if there is a scenario where you want to do streaming, that's where you really want to think about going back to an ArcMap environment. All right, so what we're going to be doing in this video then is we're going to be adding a line, and this is going to be the Monongahela, and we're going to go from the Point Park zone all the way out to the eastern border of Allegheny County. The other thing that we're going to be doing is, for those working on ArcMap, I had them do 9 Mile Creek using this streaming mode. You're not going to be able to do that, so I would like, though, you to work at the 1 to 12,000 scale in that area and try to do the best job of digitizing it in the single vertex mode. So those are the two things we're going to be doing in this video. Okay, so here we are in our ArcPRO environment, and again, a couple things I just want to review and make sure everybody's on the same page. Remember that in ArcPRO, what we have to make sure of is what is editable. So I'm going to click again on my list by editing, and now we're going to have two things that we want to be editable, and that is our rivers here. And then we're going to need to add, I'm going to go back to my list by data source and add, we're going to need to add that streams level that you created in our first one. And that's going to be another one that we want to be editable. And so you'll notice that when it comes in that way. So in this exercise, first part we're going to do is we want to digitize the Monongahela as it kind of follows this path all the way down to here. I'm going to move my map a little bit so we can see kind of where it comes out. And so here's where I want to end. So what we're going to do again is go to we know that our two layers are editable. We're going to click on Edit. And in this case, we're going to be creating features. So I'm going to click on Create. And I'm going to choose my rivers. And again, what I'm going to choose here is my line editing, create a line feature. And so what I want to do is, again, make sure that my snapping tools, click on those. All my snapping tools are available. I'm going to make sure they're all on because I want to see them all. And then we're going to go back to that. And now, again, we're going to be in the create mode with all of my snapping available. And you'll notice that now as I move to the river's vertex, I can see it there. And now I'm going to begin to simply click along. And again, I encourage you to do this a little bit better than I am. I'm trying to do this fairly quickly to make this video short, but you get the idea that, again, you want to follow that path to the best of your ability. And again, I want to point out, you'll notice down here in my line tool at the bottom that what we don't have is that streaming mode option. And so what we are forced to do is this digitizing at a point. And so this is the best we can do, and again I'm going to go kind of simply to there, double click to end, and remember I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click finish. Now I've done with that. So that's a relatively straightforward way of digitizing within a feature, and the important idea is that I went to the edge here and I am joined here, and so those pieces are correct. Now the next thing that I'm going to do then is I'm going to go back to my create features, and this time I want to click on streams. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be creating. Now I already have this bookmarked, and I will kind of show you where we are. You're going to see that we're going to be in this area here, and I'm going to go to my map and to my bookmarks, and again I have this as bookmark 2, and here we are, and here is what I mean by 9 Mile Creek. Now, one of the first things that I'm going to want to do, though, and I'm going to zoom out so you can kind of see where we are here. You'll notice you're right after this big bend in the Monongahela. And so what we want to do is I'm going to zoom in a little bit more here. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is kind of modify this Monongahela so that this stream comes out. And so again, I'm going to go into my modify features, and we're going to look at rivers. Okay, and so this is what we want to modify. It's selected. So I'm going to now go into my edit, and again, we're under the modify option, and I want to modify vertices. And so you notice that now I have to add a vertex again, kind of like we did last time, and I'm going to add it right there, and then I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it right to where that creek comes out. Okay, so now I'm done with that. I'm going to click check. Now I'm going to go back to my create features, and I'm going to select my streams and align. Now again, we need to make sure that our snapping tools are all on. In my case they are, and you'll notice that now it shows me that I'm at a river vertex. I'm going to click there, and again now I'm going to very carefully follow this up the stream channel. And again, I'd like you to do this to the best of your ability. I'm going to do it a little bit faster. And we get to the end, we double click, and we accept that, finish it, and remember to click save. So now I'm going to save all my edits, and I'm going to click yes, and now I'm going to clear that selection so that you can see, and there is my 9 Mile Creek. So again, this is the idea of adding new features in this way. Now the last thing that we're going to do in this one, I'm going to go back to our series of tasks, is we're going to be splitting a feature class, and that's the last one that we want to be doing. And splitting is a very basic tool, but it's a very important one in line editing. Splitting allows us to take a line feature and split it somewhere along its length. And the reason that we often do this is that what we are interested in is dividing a line along some part of its feature so that we can change its attributes. And so here we're going to do, I'm going to move us back up to the confluence. Let me go back to my first bookmark here, and we'll be able to see it. So where I'm interested in is right here. According to the data, this is all the Ohio, but in fact right here it should become the Allegheny. And so what I want to do is I want to zoom in on this location, and then I'm going to split this feature. So first thing I want to do is select it, and you'll notice that that's one line. Now of course we notice also that it's in the wrong place, but for right now I'm not terribly worried about that. And what I want to do now again is I'm going to modify features. Okay, and in this case what we simply want to do is split the feature. And so again we're going to be using the split feature, and that is here. Okay, and so what we're going to do is, again, we have our feature selected, and we can take our split tool, and I'm going to split it right here. I'm going to click on that, and now what you'll notice is that it's showing me that I have split it, and now I'm going to accept that. I'm going to clear my selections, and what I want to show you now is that when I select now, that it's only to here. I've now split at that vertex. And so again, splitting is very straightforward, but it's an important idea in terms of how we manage line features. Okay, that's it for editing in lines. We'll be back to edit in polygons.